In response to my last video about Leqembi for Alzheimer's disease, one commenter asks a great question about the gender differences observed in this drug. Specifically, in the clinical trials, they reported that men were more likely than women to receive benefit and a slowing of disease progression. But why and what's going on? Well, the short answer is we don't know for sure. However, it's actually a really great example of the limits of statistical analyses in a lot of these clinical trials. See, when we do research on clinical effectiveness of medications, we would typically break down the results into subgroups. Men versus women, different races, age groups, and so on. And you end up with a table like this one here, showing the different relative efficacy of this medication by subgroup. But what happens is we also then decrease the statistical power the more we break up the data. Imagine if you have, let's say, 1,000 participants, but after you start breaking them down into groups, you've got 500 per group, or 100, or even 50, 10, or 5. And the fewer people you have in each group, the less powerful the statistics are and the less meaningful they become. So when we look at the sex breakdown of the data, what you see here is that although there is a difference, it is actually not statistically significant anymore. Meaning there aren't enough participants to differentiate between whether this is a real difference or just a statistical anomaly. If you look at the chart, you'll see that the bar showing all the different values for male versus female participants, they actually overlap. So even though that mean or average value is noticeably different, there's too much overlap to confirm whether that's a real difference. And only future studies really examining this distinction will tell us for sure whether or not that difference is real. And if it is, then they will probably do follow-ups to figure out why. I hope that helps clarify how this research is done and both the strengths and limitations of this kind of data.